Greetings, people who really like the accordion. And I should be picking up the accordion in the next video. Actually, I'll have to show you some things, but just bear with me one more time and we'll do some theory. If you saw my previous video 22A and then 22B, you would know that in this set of videos, I'm talking about the bloopers that I made over the many years when I was working out my systems. I made mistakes. In other words, I had experienced failures, or I had incomplete concepts that I didn't get to finish. I couldn't finish. I struggled with them. And then I have this sickness, this perpetual curiosity. I'm always looking into things musical, and I don't know why, but I do it. So when I spoke recently about a new system, what I really meant was I have some ancillary, some leftover perspectives. In other words, I have some insights that are not finished, and through these little things that I found, I'm not sure, but I think I developed a shortcut to the blues. Now it sounds a little weird, but I think I developed a shortcut. Now ordinarily, when a child is learning the blues from a teacher or from a parent, what the teacher will do is give the child or the student three chords, three easy chords. Let's say C, F, and G. And they might even give them a seventh chord, all right? And then what they'll do is teach the child or the student the minor pentatonic scale. That's what they call it. In traditional and contemporary terminology, that's what they call it. And then they'll talk about the blue notes, the notes that can be bent or flexed. And a lot of times the teacher will stress the importance of the augmented 4 or the diminished 5. And that's how the child or the student will learn the blues ordinarily. You can do this on the internet. Go on YouTube and you'll see people showing you how to play the blues, and it's kind of easy, all right? Now, the thing that's important to mention here, as it relates to my set of videos, bloopers to blues, is the minor pentatonic scale, all right, is a modal scale. It's a mode. Now watch this. Now, I talked about relative scales. I said, okay, let's say you have a C major scale and you have the relative minor. I already talked about this. I went over this in detail. So you have your relative minor, and then the C major is your relative major, and that's how it goes. This is your base or original scale, and this is a mode. All right, we talked about that, so you should be familiar with that. So I want to show that the scale that's used in not only blues but also rock and roll too is the so-called C minor pentatonic. But it is a mode. It is a mode taken from the E flat pentatonic scale. This is your E flat pentatonic, and these are the tones, and here's your steps in between: whole step, 3 half steps, whole step, 3 half steps. So you see, that's the original bass scale, and from that you get a mode, and mostly it's called the minor pentatonic. And in this case, of course, if the C is the tonic, it's the C minor pentatonic. All right? So you should be able to understand that. I'm just trying to tell you that the approach to the blues through the contemporary system is they take the chords that are selected, that they like, and then they add, usually, the minor pentatonic scale. So, while I was failing and not finishing those systems that I was trying to develop, I discovered a couple things, and I discovered that I was kind of being pushed or urged or nudged towards the blues, because I call it finding the blues. What I discovered was I came up with already, so far, 2 ways to get the blues scale, but it's non-modal, it's non-traditional, all right? It's kind of independent. It's kind of a standalone scale. In other words, I discovered a blues scale when I was developing my scalephrase system, all right? All I did was take a blues scale phrase. You can see my other videos if you want to know about the scale phrases. And then I added an unusual 7 scale phrase. I added them together, and I got a blues scale. And then I did the thing I just showed you in my 2 previous videos. I tried to develop the perfect chord, and I tried to incorporate the perfect chord into my already existing chord system, and I failed. But I also discovered the importance of the minor third interval as featured in the harmonic series. All right, it's featured, it's emphasized. So I did the perfect chord thing, moved up to a minor chord, and I got another version of a non-modal blues scale. Then I thought to myself, question mark here, I said, is there another, could there be one more way to find the blues? Could there be just one more non-modal way to find the blues? Because I had to work to get these. I had to work hard. I had to actually think like crazy. But I thought, is there something natural? Is there something obvious, or something maybe that we missed? Well, when I did the first system, that was, in other words, the operation of simply adding 2 scale phrases. All right, that's from my scale phrase system. That was an easy way to make a blues scale. All right, it was no big struggle. All right. Then I did my thing where I showed you where I took my theoretical perfect chord, moved up a minor third to a minor chord. All right, it worked out. The tones don't conflict. I showed you that. Then I showed you how I put the tones together and how it looks. All right. But though it might have been fashioned after some concepts in the harmonic series, I wanted to know, is there any other way that's somewhat natural or inherent, something built in to our musical minds? Okay. Now, I told you that the harmonic series helped me with my studies and my research. It was a great help. It was also a distraction, because every time I found something in the harmonic series, every time I found something useful in here, I would also find, well, here it is. I would find little tidbits that distracted me, took my mind away, and the chart was saying, Joey, look at this. You didn't consider this. Look at this. Look at this. Next thing you know, I have 15 projects going. And also the circle of fifths is another wonderful tool. It helped me, but it was kind of a distraction. So I thought, okay, wait a second here. We have this harmonic series, all right, we have that, and then we have the circle of fifths. This is your handy chart. It's a wonderful tool. All right, we have that. I thought, well, these are 2 wonderful things. Wonder if they have anything in common. So I looked into it years ago. I looked into it, and I discovered something. Well, first of all, you already know from my previous videos that we as humans, we have taken there's 2 simultaneous paths to these systems that can be taken. There's 2 paths to the harmonic series and 2 paths to the circle of fifths. And one, of course, is intuitive. I talked about that. We just naturally have an ear. We have a mind for things that we think sound good, look good, work good. And there's also the scientific route. So you see here, and I mentioned this in a previous video, that a guy named Mongolian Italian, all right, in 1647, I hope I'm reading correctly, all right, published his ideas on this harmonic series. He's published his work, all right. And then the Bernoulli brothers from Switzerland in 1687 published their work. So basically they were showing that scientifically they had recognized the harmonic series. It was a real thing, and it's a big deal. Now the really cool thing is, with the circle of fifths, well, there's an intuitive path, which some of us are aware of. I'm highly intuitive. And there's also the scientific path. So you see each wonderful acoustical or in the realm of physics, each concept here has two pathways to get to it. You see, two pathways. Well, look at this. In 1677, Nikolai Deletsky, I hope I'm saying that right, all right, he was from Ukraine. He published a work called A Musical Grammar in 1677, and you see that's very, very close to the publications that were presented, that presented the Harmonic Series. So see, right there's kind of a parallel thing. It's kind of a parallel, beautiful thing. So if the Harmonic Series was so valuable and useful, I thought, what if there's something in the circle of fifths that's equally as valuable? All right. So I told you when I homeschooled our children, I said, children, if you don't get it, just keep looking at it, or keep reading the paragraph or the page until you get it, and just keep looking at it. And so I took my own advice. And when I was having trouble with those systems that I failed at, I just kept looking at this thing. You can pause your video and you can keep looking at it. I don't know if you're going to see it, but I saw something. I saw something. Now, first of all, I told you I invented the theoretical perfect chord. This is a C perfect because here's your C's your root, and I called it the C perfect, and that would be my notation in my system, right? You say, well, that's a goofy looking chord. It's not even in thirds. You say, Joey, here's a real chord. This is a C major. The thirds are neatly in place. C major. Everybody knows C major, right? You say, this is goofy. And I say, no, it's not goofy. I say it might even be superior to your basic chord built on thirds. Because, and here it comes, I looked at this handy chart, the circle of fifths, and all of a sudden one day, and I can't tell you what day it was, I don't know, I don't remember, who knows, I saw something. So I blew it up a little bit. Now you know, I've already given you what I call my new device called the subject scale or chord and the aggregating scale or chord, all right? This is just a piece of the chart that I drew. So you don't have to look at the whole chart. So you see, I already had this concept of the subject scale and the aggregating scale, and I showed you that in previous videos. Don't need to do it again. Okay, do you see this? Here's your C major, F sharp major. All right, we already talked about that. And then there it was. There it was. The answer to one of my dilemmas. I saw it, and maybe you saw it. Maybe when I held that chart up, maybe you saw it. I saw the perfect chord. Here's your subject scale C. Right beside it, your F, your perfect 4, G, perfect 5. And right below it, your aggregating scale or chord, F sharp. And there it was. It took me 2.5 videos to get here, but this is really important because when we get to the blues, it's just, I think it's a beautiful thing. So here you see it. The perfect chord is right there, hidden in plain sight. It's hidden in plain sight. It took me years to see it. It was always there. And then the transformation. I looked at it again and again, like I told my children, keep looking at it. And there's the perfect chord, right? Didn't we just talk about that? Well, look down here. F sharp, and harmonically is G flat. It's G flat. It's the End Harmonic. It's written differently, but it sounds the same. And here's the most beautiful discovery. The relative minor of this G flat is E flat. The relative minor is E flat minor. And there it is. That's it. The thing that I thought, the thing that I was looking for and I didn't know what it was, popped up. It popped up. It's, with the circle of fifths, I've discovered a shortcut to the blues. I call it the circle shortcut because you have your subject scale, that's the S subject scale, your subject perfect chord. All right, that's your subject chord, and then that's your perfect chord, and your A is your aggregating chord, and it's a minor. It's the relative minor of your aggregating chord. All right, it's the relative minor. We already talked about relative minors. So you see your subject chord, it's a perfect chord, plus your aggregating minor chord, you get the blues scale. You get your, let's say in the key of C. Here's your root, your tonic, C, C perfect plus E flat minor, and here are your tones. These are your tones. C, E flat, F, G flat, G, B flat, C. I hope I'm speaking correctly. And that's the shortcut to the blues. And I'm sorry it took so long, but the next time we're picking up that accordion because I want to show you how to do it, how to use it, and I think it's the easiest way possible, and maybe I'm wrong, we'll find out. So thank you for being incredibly patient, and I hope to see you at the next video. Good night.